Hey guys, this is TMBRLZ. Yeah, you've probably seen me talking on Tapped Out about all kinds of fun things. I've been exploring the forums lately, and I've noticed a lot of you have started asking questions about Xmage and stuff. Some of you have been having problems with getting Xmage working. I figured as somebody who's local to Tapped Out, maybe you'd appreciate a video from someone you've heard talk before. So I could have just linked YouTube, but they also, some of the YouTube videos don't tell you anything. They get you installed, but they don't tell you about the program. So we're going to get it installed. I'm going to show you what it looks like and show you some things you want to do right away when you get it set up so you can enjoy yourself and use a system that is, without an argument, better than Cockatrice or Moto. Sorry, Wizards. Make a better program. So as you can see, I've already got it set up here. This little Java icon. Xmage is a Java program. It uses a Java runtime environment of its own. So you do want to make sure that you have JRE installed on your computer. Hopefully you do. If you do not, you can just go ahead and honestly, you can just punch in JRE and you should be able to take it right to Oracle and then download the one that you need based on your operating system. Once you've done all that, then we can go ahead and download Xmage. So the link you want to go to is xmage.de, Delta Echo. That'll take you to this fancy page, and then you click this magic button that says download Xmage. And you notice it'll show up as a Java file. And something you want to keep in mind is that because this is a Java application, it's not like when you download a game and install it on your computer. It doesn't create its own files. There's no installation process. It just starts running where you open it. So you don't want to just open this right away when you get it. Not even straight out of this. This is running. If I were to click this after it was finished downloading, this would be running Xmage right here, which means that it would start doing everything it needs to set up, and it would start creating all that information directly into my download folders, which is not something you want because that's just a mess. So make a folder where you can put Xmage after you downloaded it. I made a fake folder here, a test environment to show you guys. I have an actual folder, I can't talk, that's already made in my stuff. You can see here Xmage. There's everything that'll start loading. I made an extra folder in here, Xmage decks, so I can find my decks quickly. Few seconds here and we can get it going. Poof, there it is. So I'm going to open the folder location in my downloads. And here it is Xmage Launcher. I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it here to our test environment. There. And close all this. And we're going to open it up. And see, even though I already have Xmage over here, this is a shortcut to that folder I was just showing you guys. The system thinks this is a brand new run. So this looks like the first time you're running it, blah, blah, blah. We're going to start downloading a whole bunch of things to your computer. And as you can see, the folder is starting to fill automatically. It's going to install Java first and finish that up. And then it's going to start downloading the actual Xmage information. So it'll always make sure its Java version is up to date. The launcher, you will see it update itself pretty rarely, maybe once every couple months. You'll see Java update. Xmage itself will update a little more frequently. You can see an update every month or two. And typically you only see it when like new sets drop or if there's bug fixes. I'm still waiting for them to get the new version for Hours of Devastation. Typically they have Hours of Devastation or any new set that's coming out. They would have had it loaded already. I've noticed this last week I haven't seen it yet. And I'm assuming the devs were sleeping on it. I don't know. Typically they'll have it up about a week beforehand, which makes Xmage a really useful tool for going in and doing practice sealed. You'll see a lot of people who are running like 6 or 8 man sealed rooms, so they can practice for pre-release because obviously we need to take pre-release so seriously as to practice for it. Alright, and there it goes. So Java's up to date, Xmage is up to date. So now we can go ahead and launch the client. Launch client and server is something you'll want to avoid. The only time you would want to do that is if you are wanting to make a local server with your computer as the host. If you ever want to play against a bot, as far as I can tell, that's the only efficient way to do that. You can do that if you want to goldfish using Xmage. Like I've created a deck of nothing but islands, and then I just launch a client and server, and I put a bot in my game, and I give it a deck of islands, and then I play my deck as I need to, so I can see how it plays out. Not something you'll have to do very often. Honestly, if you want to playtest, just play real people. Hit launch client. All this will come up. Now it's looking, all this error here is it's looking for symbols that don't exist. So it's going to automatically check for files for relevant images. Still can't talk. You'll see this typically when you first pop up. You can disable this in your settings if you want, but it's going to check and see if you have the card images. You want to say download images, and you do want to say yes. I'm not going to do that because I already have them all, and to do it again would take a long time. You will want to have typically Xmage sit for a couple hours while it's downloading all the images because you've got about 23,000 to download, almost 24. Not all of them will download. I've gone through varying times, but some links are just hard to reach. For instance, I think I have like 500 images that are missing because the way Xmage works, and it's funny, this is actually using my settings from my other client, and it remembers my login, so it pulled that information somehow. But yeah, it'll have you make a login account and a connect. If you're in Europe, there's a European server that runs pretty fast, usually has about 200 or 300 people on it. The largest USA server is WoogerWorks. Honestly, if you're in the USA and you have a decent internet, there's no reason you can't connect to the EU server. However, sometimes, like when you're playing commander games, certain games can be more laggy than others based on your connection peer-to-peer. So typically a better idea just to go where your home server is. But if you go into the deck editor, this shouldn't have the images because it's not reading from the same place. But I'm a little concerned because it's already remembering everything. Yeah, so it doesn't have any of the images or the color symbols. It's going to have the entire card database, but everything's going to look like this. It's going to have all the Oracle text. Keep in mind the Oracle text isn't always in line with actual MTG Oracle text. It's just what they've put in there. And it's going to say all this. So the first thing you want to do once you've downloaded Xmage, if you'd like to play with pictures, symbols will be the very easiest thing to do. It's going to ask, do you want to download game symbols and additional image files? And you say yes. And so it downloads all 657 symbols. That includes mana colors, tap symbol, X symbol, energy symbol, all kinds of stuff. And it also includes frames as well. So like the frames for your cards. And it doesn't want to download this last one for some reason. What is this? I have no idea. It's fine. Stop. Stop. All right. Now you'll notice all this stuff is different. So I've got symbols on there now. I've got set symbols. A lot of stuff is showing up. Mana costs, tap symbols are showing up on cards. However, obviously there's no images still, and that's when we're going to click on images. Now again, I'm not going to take, and I already have my actual client looks like here in a minute. There will be a bit of lag time. It's going to pull up and it's going to give you a whole bunch of mirrors to download off of. Typically, let's see, 30,478 cards. Typically, it's better just to work down the list. Info, Wizards, and Mythic Spoiler will give you just about everything you need. I've typically found, and I don't know if it's just me or other people as well, but downloading from any of these last 5 mirrors, while you can get some images, such as tokens and .mtg and all that, oftentimes it'll end in error. It'll just sit there and say it's still downloading, but really it's stopped. And if you follow the log, which is going to be here when you launch your client, it'll tell you exactly what's happening. And it's just, like right here, it's checking for the files. A lot of them just are connection errors. So you'll click here, Magic Card Info, start download. That'll take forever. Wizards.com, start download. That'll take forever. Mythic Spoiler, same thing. But after, depending on your connection speed, hour and a half to 3 hours of waiting, you will have all these card images for the most part. And then you can start building decks. Other thing you'll want to check out is preferences. It'll show all these fancy settings. You have a lot of options here. A lot of these are usually enabled by default. Confirm if you want to pass phase or step if they're still managing your mana pool. I turn that off because I play Omnath and EDH, and that gets really annoying. But you can, select those. You can adjust the sizes of your interface. You can choose when to skip your priority or when not to. Typically, Xmage should stop at every single point you would have priority and make sure you want to do things. And you can also choose whether or not to automatically pass priority after you've put something on the stack. I think it's actually on by default. You can turn that off so you can maintain priority after casting a spell. You can set up an avatar. There's a bunch of these pre-built avatars. Now, there was programs in the past that tried to do what Xmage did and failed. They actually got sued by Wizards. The way Xmage got around it is that they do not come preloaded with all these images. Obviously, you're downloading them off official sites and mirrors. And that's why actually downloading the application itself doesn't take very long. It's just getting the images after the fact. So they aren't violating any copyright by having the images that are still stored like, third party and then just putting them into the app. That doesn't violate any copyright law, so Wizards can't really do anything about it. And let's be honest, stuff like this helps Wizards. Gives them more people play the game, build decks, buy cards, all that good stuff. Xmage is a very good test environment, or if you just want to get some casual magic going on and don't have anyone in real life to play with at the moment. Once you've got everything set up and everything's the way you like it, your main button here is going to be switch panels. This will switch you between deck editor and tables, matches that are going on. You can choose all these filters. There's a lot more than this here. I just have it filtered to show only matches I care about. There's also a chat log in the bottom right, as well as a list of all the players, as well as their ratings and their ping and all that good stuff. You'll go into deck editor when you want to start building decks, and obviously you'll see all these cards. You can filter based on format or set to only locate certain cards, as well as colors and what kind of cards they are, and so on and so forth. So if we want to build Death Shadow, God forbid. There we go, we got Death Shadow, and there would be both the MM3 arts, and I'll actually show you the real client here that I actually have. Now, another thing you want to do is when you've got Xmage installed and you've got it in your source folder, if you want a link on your main page, you do not want to just drag and drop or copy and paste, because that'll be copying the actual Java application runner. And so when you put it back on your desktop, it's going to be independent from all the information you downloaded. And when you click on it, it's going to go, oh, this is the first time you're running Xmage. So this is a shortcut. And I've actually, because of Xmage, I've made a habit of doing this with all my apps just to not cause data errors. You always just want to do a shortcut. So you would go and you would find it wherever you decide to store it. We can click on things correctly, Xmage Launcher, copy, and then paste shortcut. And boom. But we'll go ahead and open up my actual main Xmage run. And here we go. Do you want to download images? And I'll show you what this looks like now that we're actually in my source here. But you'll hit yes. Usually don't worry about it. I need to really turn off this auto check. Magic card info. Start download. It'll look for cards. Like I'm missing 549 right now, and I've tried, and for some reason it won't download them. And that's just the way it is. I've been using this program for about 2 years, and sometimes there's just images that you can't get. So don't freak out about it. As long as you've got most of them. You'll go into deck editor. All these images and pictures are property of Wizards, and you can see all these cards now. And you have different arts. So if we were to look up something like Brainstorm, boom, Commander, Conspiracy, F&M Promo, Ice Age, Vintage Masters, 5th Edition, Eternal Masters, Master Editions 2, Commander 15, Marcadian Masks, and Dual Decks. That is it versus Golgari, I believe. So yeah, you got all the different arts, so you can trick things out. They've also got a whole bunch of lands. They have the Guru lands. Okay, well, that's not what we want. Um, Boom. They've got the guru lands in here. So those are nice as well, including the unhinged and unglued lands. So if you want fancy lands that are all the same in your deck. But yeah, you just start building a deck. Death Shadow. And I should probably get off the guru filter here. So we got Death Shadow. We'll add the newer one because reasons. And we'll put 5 in a deck, sure. And Inquisition. Sure. And Godless Shrine. I'm just making stuff up, guys. I don't actually play meta decks. As you can see, they've got the expeditions in here. They also have the masterpieces. We'll say, I don't know, Aether Vial. Poof. Expedition Aether Vial. And then we'll add some lands. So any land, I don't care because I'm not picky, and we'll choose 36 swamps and 172 islands. And boom. There they all are. You can sort this view by card type, CMC, color, color identity, rarity, EDH power level. I don't know what that actually means, honestly. I play EDH very casually, so. And yeah, you can choose how you want to select them. There's a whole lot of useful stuff here. This is your sideboard, so if you wanted Aether Vials on our sideboard, this is the main deck add and remove, and then this is the sideboard add. So you want to hit this yellow button. Just double clicking an item will add it to your deck. However, there's no way to just automatically do that for sideboard. If you ever want to take something out, double click it in its deck form, or you can hit the appropriate remove button. So like, well, I don't want that many islands, I want one less. So poof, it's gone. And I only want 2 Aether Vials on my sideboard. So there's that, or you can just double click and they're gone. That's basically it. And then you can start playing with people. I don't want to join a rated guy because I don't want to take him off. Serious testing. Why is everyone rating their things? I don't want to play rated. We can choose modern here. So we're making a deck. You can name your room. You can set a time limit. You can set a password if you only want to play with certain people. You can choose whether or not it's rated, which actually is basically rankings. You can choose what time this is. This is going to be a very important area if you're going to be playing Commander, because this will set whether you're playing Commander free-for-all or Commander two-player duel, and that'll change the rule format. You can choose whether or not to allow rollback, so if someone makes a mistake, you can roll back and undo up to a certain point. Set the number of wins for the match, so obviously 2 out of 3. So we're in modern, and we'll just say rack. And we want to play against a human, not a bot, although that doesn't really work unless you're on your server, like I mentioned earlier. And then we just wait for somebody to join. It usually doesn't take very long. See, look, already someone here.
A player has joined the table. Your game has started.
And poof. And it'll give you your starting hand. Xmage is very intuitive, knows all the rules, knows how to do it for you, unlike Cockatrice where you have to do a lot of things yourself. You choose whether to keep your hand, and then you just pass priority back and forth. These are these nifty buttons here, which is pass priority through certain areas. So I just skipped all the way to my turn, passing all my priorities until then. You want to use these buttons sparingly until you learn how they work, because sometimes it can screw you out of winning a game. And then we play our swamp, and we look at their hand. Select him, pay a black. And he's got these things here. What is this? What is he playing? Okay. Mana Ramp Defender is a Chroma's Memorial? Sure, guy. Yeah, we're gonna get that out of there. And then I just passed my turn again, because obviously there's nothing I can do to interrupt him or pause him. You can do the next turn, and it would go to his turn, but pause for priority if you put something on the stack. To end steps the same way. If I wanted to just go through his turn, but I wanted it to stop me if he tried to do something, it would pause after he cast something and give me an opportunity to respond. Usually will typically always stop to ask if you want to block after a certain point, or if you have blockers at all. We could really just ruin this guy's day right now, and I think we will. Smallpox. And we're just going to discard Smallpox, because that would be too much. And there goes his creature in his land, and he probably won't be very happy. And boom. So yeah, that's basically how Xmage works. Probably concede here in a minute after I dump my hand. As you can see, it's pretty quick and intuitive. You just tap your lands. Alternatively, if you're wanting to manipulate your mana, put our land down and say like, maybe you tap your lands before you hit your card because you don't know what you're doing. It'll add it into your mana pool over here, you can see. And so, I can put a spell on the stack, such as Waste Not. And then I can click on it to use the mana sources. So it's good if you want to micromanage what mana you're spending where, especially if you have spells with, I think the mechanic was Converge back from Battle for Zendikar, where depending on the number of mana, the colors of mana you paid, it affected how the spell played out. So that's a good way to micromanage that, because otherwise it's just going to automatically assume which mana you want to use. Unless you're tapping the mana as you're casting the spell. But even then, that sometimes can get glitchy. So you want to sometimes micromanage it, tap first, put the spell in the stack, and then start clicking. And it's a good thing I had 8 rack, because this is a very easy deck to show, because you don't really do things except empty your hand and watch your opponent cringe. He's got a lot of lands, and I don't like that very much. Alright. It's fine though, because we just go... And I just did it again unintentionally. There we go. Pay black. Boom. And he's going to discard a thing, and things are going to happen for me. I draw a land. Why does he have Dragon Shift? What in the world is Dragon Shift? If you ever want to see the graveyards, this little tombstone picture here. It's not letting me drag it. There we go. And you can see what cards. What is he playing? I don't even know. Exile is the X pile, so you can always click on those things to see it. If you ever reveal hand, a pop-up will show up, and you can actually leave that on your screen. A habit to get into if you are wanting to really pay attention to what they've played and what they haven't been playing. And we'll put our game winners down. Do not like how many cards he has in hand. And I'll probably just concede here if he does something good, because we don't care about this game. You also notice it's keeping clock here. It is specific to your turns, so if you set a 50-minute clock or a 60-minute clock, that's going to be per player. Typically you'll see people just do the full 2-hour maximum for EDH games. I think I know what I've seen this combo deck before. This is a really bad combo deck. We're just going to get rid of Ensnaring Bridge. I don't want to, but I need to get rid of his stupid creatures. And I have Zomzom. And we just concede. If you ever hit concede, it just concedes the round you're in, not the whole game. If you ever want to concede the whole game, right click, also a useful thing. Can automatically change your mana payment settings. You can request the rollbacks to start of the turn, or you can just concede the whole dang thing. And poof. Sorry, guy. And that's all there is to it. You can also see completed matches down here. If you turn it on, I have turned it off because I don't care. So yeah, that's basically Xmage. This video I think is long enough, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I will help as needed. So yeah.